Hello.
Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Salisbury Primary School.
Okay, we've got 10 questions for you today. I hope that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Sophie, would you like to start with your question? Nice loud voice.
What inspired you to go up to space?
So I've been interested in science since I was a little kid. I used to be in my school's after hours club, science club, and I used to work on science projects in there, like building greenhouses and growing little kind of bacteria things. And so I've always been interested in science. So I thought, why not go to space? Because I'd get to explore all the things that I've never been able to explore on Earth. We can't do all this research by sending robots up. We need humans on Mars to explore for us and do the research.
Thank you. And Sophie is actually in our science club, so maybe she'll be the next person on Mars. Jessie, your question.
Where will you get your water and enough oxygen from?
So, unlike what other people think, that there's no water in the solar system, there's actually a lot of water in the solar system. And on Mars, there's a lot of ice in the polar ice caps. So it's all frozen. And if you were to melt Mars's polar ice cap, then the water would cover the entire surface of Mars. So there is some ice in the soil. And when we get to Mars, we're going to extract ice from the soil. We'll put it in kind of, we'll heat it up in kind of like an oven and evaporate the water out and distill it to have water. And you can make oxygen out of water because, I don't know if you've learned this yet, but water is two hydrogen molecules and one oxygen. So if you send an electric current through the water, then you'll get oxygen out.
Okay. Bobby, your question.
Why do you want to go to Mars?
Like I said, I've always wanted to go since I was really young, just to go into space and explore and do science. But because the rovers that we send up at the moment, they're very limited on how they can move. So there's a time delay on Mars. So if we tell the robots to move, like if we tell it to go forward, it would take 3 minutes, well, anything between 3 and 20 minutes for it to register and actually move. So it's a really slow process. And if humans were there, we could just think ourselves and just do everything like autonomously.
Because people are better than robots, generally.
Yeah.
Okay, Senna has a really interesting question, which is maybe less scientific, but I think quite interesting.
Okay.
What will you do if you had a fight with the other astronauts, and how will you cope?
Oh, wow. That's a nice question. I haven't heard that one before. So I'm going to be training with the other 39 candidates for 10 years. So hopefully we'll all get along before I actually even go to Mars. And if we don't get along during the training, then we'll probably get kicked out and not be able to go to Mars at all. But decisions when we get to Mars is going to be down to us because we'll be the first persons there. And there's no law on Mars. There's no jail to put people in jail or anything.
Do you think you might set up the first space prison?
Eventually, yeah.
You would have to, I suppose. Thank you. Taylor?
If you get chosen, what would you like to train for? What would you like to do particularly? What job would you like particularly to do?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that one.
When we listened to your radio interview, you talked about how some people would have to train for different things, so to be either a plumber or a dentist.
Yeah.
And Taylor wanted to know, what particular job would you like to do when you're chosen?
I think we're all going to have to, well, the first 4 people who go up there are going to be training in a lot of different skills because there's only going to be 4 people, but there's a lot of jobs to be taken. And I think we'll divide it out somehow based on our own skills. So what we're good at, we'll do that.
Good. Okay.
Why do you think you'll be chosen to go to Mars?
I hope I'll get selected to go to Mars. I don't know if I will or not. I find out in about 2 weeks' time, which is really exciting. So I've done a degree in space science, so I've learned all about space missions and all the dangers of them. I've done all the tests and stuff, so I really hope I've got enough knowledge that I can bring to Mars and apply it to the research that I do up there.
Thank you. Adam?
If you see Martians, what will you do?
I'd run up to them and give them a hug. Just kidding. I don't know. I think it would be really exciting, but I don't think there are actually Martians on Mars. If anything, there'd be tiny bacteria, and that would be really interesting for us because we'd get to learn about how they formed and their history, basically. But I don't think there's going to be walking aliens on Mars.
Okay. Kingsley?
Are you sure you can live without your family?
So I used to study abroad in America, so I had to live away from my family for a whole year, and I developed all sorts of relationships with people there, and they're really interesting, and I keep in touch with them still now, and I loved it in living in America. So I think I could do the same in Mars if I get to know the people that I go with. And they'll always be like a phone call away. I'll be able to write home and like call home and stuff. So I don't think it will be that bad.
And will you have Skype on Mars?
I will, but it'll be really, really slow. So like I said earlier, Mars is so far away that it could take anything between 3 and 20 minutes to send a message. So I could be saying hi and you wouldn't get it till 3 minutes later.
Interesting. Sophie?
How would you make the biodomes living up on Mars?
What was that, sorry?
How would you make the biodomes live up on Mars?
So, sort of, would you make biodomes, like glass biodomes to live in?
So the habitats on Mars are going to be inflatable habitats, we think, at the moment, because it costs a lot of money to send anything that's really heavy to Mars. We want to make it as light as possible because the more heavy luggage that we have to take up, the more it will cost in fuel to transport us up there. So if we have inflatable habitats, then it wouldn't be as heavy. It'll be lightweight and easy to maneuver around the Martian surface.
Brilliant. Angel?
If you could take anything in the world, what would you take?
I would take an e-reader so I could read unlimited amounts of books because it could be quite boring. I mean, 9 months just to get there in a small, tiny space and only 3 other people to talk with. I think I'll need quite a few books.
Brilliant. Yeah, we have. I think some of us would probably take. We made our lists of 10 things we would take the other day, and lots of them were iPads.
Yeah.
I think we had some footballers being taken with us. Hands up if you were taking a footballer.
Yeah.
Okay. But some
How do you think you'll be able to kick a ball around on Mars? The gravity is a third of that on Earth.
The thing is, I don't think they actually put a football on their list, so just a footballer. No.
Oh, okay.
No football. Okay, well, that was really, really fantastic. Thank you very much, Maggie. And 5 people, did you say?
Thank you!
Thank you for having me.
And I think we want to wish you good luck in the selection process as well. Make sure that you do get selected. And what's the date of when do we find out?
Be the 16th of February.
Okay, so we'll make sure we're watching then. Okay, thank you very much, Maggie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.